Okay, so we are back again with another video. Let's see. So I just wanted to give you guys a really quick video about my experience over at Prime with the sleep study. So if you look at my last video, I told you guys that I was here at the Springfield terminal for Prime, staying at the ever so beautiful, ever so clean and illustrious campus in. I say that with sarcasm. But I'm here, staying here for, I had to stay here for 3 days. I've been here since Wednesday. It's now Saturday, so this is day 4. And I had to do a sleep study because when I did my physical, there on my physical it said that I had mild sleep apnea. On my DOT physical said I had mild sleep apnea, and so it was flagged by Prime, and Prime looked at my BMI, my body mass index, and they said that they have to do their own physical. And when they did their own physical, they said that the sleep study that I did was not adequate because it was an at-home sleep study. So they forced me to do one of their sleep studies. So I went in Thursday night at about 8:45 to the Prime terminal. They have a sleep study. They do sleep studies at their terminal. I got there at about 8:45. My sleep study time was at about 9:45 p.m. I got there. You have to pick up a phone and call someone, and then someone will come out and get you from their little lobby area. Pretty nice setup. Not complaining about the setup at all. You get there. They will tell you to go use the bathroom before you come back. You go use the bathroom, you go back, and then they proceed to hook up all types of little electrodes all over your body. I had 2 of them on each leg. I had 1 on either side of my chest. I had 2 on the back of my head, 2 on my temples, 2 at my eyes, and I think 2 up here. And those were just to monitor how I was sleeping. I also had a pillow, one of those like little air nose things, which you see at hospitals. I had one of those tubes up my nose, and then I had one pointing down to get the airflow that was coming out of my mouth. So they hooked me up to the machines, and I was there from about 9:45 till about 5:45. The next day at about 1 p.m., I got a call, or actually about 10 a.m. I got a call. They said, "Hey, your results are in. Please come to the office at about 1 p.m. and we can go over your results." At this point, I'm a little nervous because I'm already kind of a little hip to the game, kind of feeling like I know what's going on here. I know, that you guys are going to say that I have sleep apnea, because if you do, you guys get money from me, and the cycle of kind of bleeding Prime drivers dry continues with the newest Prime driver. So I get there, I sit down in the office, they bring me back to the consultation room where you are sitting in front of a computer, like I'm sitting in front of my computer now recording this video. You're sitting in front of your monitor, and there's this huge monitor in front of you, and then you're talking to a sleep study doctor who is in some facility somewhere on the other side of the country. And he's talking to you about about all of the information that's regarding sleep study, how long we've known about sleep studies, why doing sleep studies are helpful, how we can help people through CPAP machines live longer. Give me all the gas in the spiel, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, I know where this is going. So then he proceeds to show me my sleep study results, and he tells me that in the course of a 7-hour sleep study, I had 2 episodes where I stopped breathing. Those 2 episodes were enough to consider my sleep apnea no longer mild, but moderate. Now, here's the thing. On my at-home sleep study, I had the same amount of sleep episodes too. So somebody's not telling the truth, and I don't know who. I need to clean this camera off. Give me a second. I think that's a little bit better. Okay, so someone's not telling the truth. And I'm not going to say who I think is not telling the truth, but okay, whatever. So they hook me up to this, or they tell me that I had 2 episodes of not breathing, and they lasted long enough for it to be considered a moderate case of sleep apnea. And because it's a moderate case of sleep apnea, I now have to go on a CPAP machine. My worst fear to date. And I want to actually really quick go over the 2 cases of where I stopped breathing because I remember where I stopped breathing in those 2 instances. The first instance was when it was about 2 hours into me sleeping and I was laying on my back. I hardly ever lay on my back because I do not like laying on my back for too long just because it's uncomfortable. I'm a side and stomach sleeper. Sometimes I lay on my back just because, I guess that's just what happens throughout the middle of the night. So I laid on my back and I'm laying down and I'm on these like really soft pillows. I use firm pillows because I can prop my head up while I'm sleeping. But they had these like really soft pillows. And these soft pillows, I had no support on my neck. So my head is just tilted all the way back, right? And I'm laying there, and of course, my head's tilted all the way back until my mouth slowly opens up. Mind you, I am a nose breather when I sleep. I do not breathe through my mouth. I hardly even snore unless I am really, really tired. Then I will snore. But in most cases, if I can get through an 8 hour night of sleep and I just had a mild day, I'm not really crazy exhausted, I'm not going to snore. So I'm sitting there with my mouth open wide. What ends up happening is my tongue slides all the way to the back of my throat and I wake up because, of course, I can't breathe. And I remember thinking, oh shit, they just got me. They just got me. They just got me. And without any fail, 30 minutes later, the lady comes in and she puts a CPAP mask over my face. And she's like, we're just going to use this now, try to see what happens. She's like, the air pressure is going to slowly go up from low pressure all the way up to whatever high pressure setting it was. And so I was fine with the low pressure settings. It really didn't affect me. I could breathe okay. But then at some point throughout the night, probably 2 or 3 hours later, this air pressure got really intense. And it got intense to the point that while I was sleeping, I realized that something was forcing my mouth open. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the hell is forcing my mouth open? And I had to remember, oh, this freaking CPAP machine is on my face and it's forcing my mouth open. I didn't like it. And I should have stopped right there and said something to the nurse or whoever it was that was performing this test, like, hey, turn this machine down, it's forcing my mouth open, I don't like it because I'm not a mouth sleeper. But I let it go, and within about 15 minutes I woke up again because this machine was forcing so much air down my throat that it caused me to stop breathing. Like I couldn't push air out fast enough for the machine to realize, like, okay, stop giving air, because that's how the machine works. The machine works on a relay. So every time you take a breath, the machine forces air. Every time you exhale a breath, the machine stops. So it's a circuit. Exhale, the machine goes. Inhale, the machine stops. Right? And so I guess the machine just couldn't sense that I'm trying to freaking take a breath, and I woke up. And I remember thinking, there's a second occurrence. So at this point, I kind of laid on my side to maybe kind of help the machine, maybe force air to the side of my face or not kind of force my mouth open. Well, but by this point, the damage is done. I've had 2 occurrences, and I know that I've had 2 occurrences where it looks like I stopped breathing on my own, when one of them was on my own and the second one was due to the machine forcing so much air, down my mouth. So, I'm thinking about these occurrences, and I'm talking to the doc, and I'm looking at the doc and I'm asking him about these times, and I'm telling him, hey, this machine, kind of choked me out basically. And he's just like, no, these machines are pretty technologically advanced, yada yada yada. They wouldn't do that, this, that, and the third. And then proceeds to tell me, hey, because you are a moderate sleep apnea patient, we're gonna have to put you on a CPAP. And then he tells me, don't be worried, I'm on a CPAP as well, and these things are fine, and yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. I don't want to be on it. I don't need to be on it. And I feel like the only reason I'm on it is because Prime can get an extra $1,700 out of its people, out of its patients. Now, I know it's not straight $1,700 profit, but there is some profit in that markup that they charge between me doing the sleep study and them selling me a machine, and all the fees that come along with it. The total bill that I have to pay now is $1,700. So they hand me my machine, they tell me how to use it. I come back to the hotel, I use it for the first night, and what do you know? I don't get any sleep. The machine is on, and the machine's telling me I'm doing a good job, but I'm not getting any sleep. I use it for 4 hours, and in that 4 hour window, I probably slept for about 30 minutes before I took it off, and I slept the rest of the night without it. And good thing that I only have to wear it for 4 hours, 5 nights a week, because if I had to wear that thing all night, every night, I would never get sleep. And that's something that you have to consider with these machines. Why is it that you only need to wear it for 4 hours and not a whole 8 hours of sleep? Wouldn't you want someone who's on these machines to get the full benefit of this sleep machine and not just 4 hours? Because probably some people who use this thing, it's too cumbersome for them. So they probably lowered that expectation a little bit. That's what I think. But they can still say you have sleep apnea and still charge you an absorbative amount of money that you don't need to be paying right now. I'm going off on a tangent, not how I planned it. So coming back, I used the machine, and like I said, I didn't like it, didn't like how it was, didn't like how it forced air down my throat, didn't like how it suctioned on my face, didn't like how when I exhaled on a breath, it felt like I was being suffocated, because it could tell when my exhale became lessened and it would start to force air in. And it's like, that's not how people breathe, right? When I exhale a breath, I need the full control to start my own breath coming in, not this machine saying, oh, I don't detect an exhale, force air in immediately. It doesn't work like that. It feels awful. And I really feel like Prime is doing an injustice to a lot of people who only have mild cases of sleep apnea, and they're not listening to those people who have done sleep studies, whose sleep study has proven that they only have a mild case of sleep apnea. But because they want to use their own doctors, and because they want to use their own facilities, and they know that 9 times out of 10, if you catch someone on average, they might have some variations in that sleep study. And so the metric that they're using is just by body mass. If you reach a certain body mass, then you have to go on the sleep study. Meanwhile, while I'm here at Campus Inn in Springfield, I have a roommate, and my roommate snores like a beast, and he gasps for air like a beast, and he toss and turn all freaking night. He doesn't have to wear a CPAP machine because he's under the body mass index. But here is a person who has a severe case of sleep apnea, but is going undetected because he is under a certain body mass index, and that's unfair. And I feel like Prime is targeting the people who are overweight. And yes, I am overweight. I take that, and I take that accountability. I'm not saying that that I have a problem with being targeted for being overweight. Yes, I'm overweight. I get that. But to say that you're not going to test anyone else because they're not overweight, and we know for a fact that people who aren't overweight also have sleep apnea, it's crazy. It's just you're targeting people that 9 times out of 10 you're going to get money from because they may have a mild case that can be marketed or marked to moderate. I only passed out, or I only stopped breathing 2 times in 7 hours. And I was in the room, and there was a guy who was sleeping beside me in another room doing a test, and this guy was snoring like somebody had a lawnmower. It was just like all over the place. Like, and you could hear him gasping for air. Now that's a person who, do a sleep study, get him on a CPAP machine. But here I am, I don't actively snore, I breathe through my nose just fine, and I get good sleep. But you gave me a CPAP machine, all right? Now, if you do that 5 times a week, If you have 5 patients 5 times a week and you each charge them $1,700 and you do that 4 times a month, or and you do that 4 weeks out of the month, you've made almost $20,000 off of just CPAP patients alone. You do that for a whole year and run the math on it. It's over $300,000 a year just on CPAP machines. And I just really feel like, some of us are getting the short end of the stick because not all of us actually need a CPAP machine. Some of us are okay how we sleep every night, but because Prime is forcing us to use their doctors, forcing us to use their sleep studies, we don't get a fair shot at showing that we don't need these machines. And it's just unfair. It's really unfair. And now that this is on the other thing about it is this is now going to be on my DOT physical for probably at least a year. So I'm kind of stuck with Prime for a year, or not stuck with Prime because I can go to another company, but I'm stuck for a year with this machine that's going to be attached to me because my physical says that I need it. But what my plan is I may not stay with Prime for more than a year now. I had planned to stay with them for almost 3 years, 4 years, do a whole lease and just kind of run the lease out and then, move into something different. But I don't know if I'm going to stay here for longer than a year now, because once that year is up, I'm definitely going to do another sleep study at home, and I'm going to prove that I only have mild sleep apnea, and I'm going to go to another company that will allow me to use my sleep study from home, the one that I use at home, not the one that they want me to use. So that's that. Just a rant, just letting you guys know, if you plan on coming to Prime, I would recommend, if you're overweight, if you, it's such a cute little doggy. It's a wiener golden retriever. I've never seen a golden retriever that's also a wiener. That is the weirdest thing. Oh, he's gonna pick him up before I can get a photo. Oh well. But yeah, it's a wiener golden retriever. But if you plan on coming to Prime and you're overweight and you've never done a sleep study, I would recommend getting a sleep study done before you come to Prime. And or if you are overweight and you've done a sleep study, make sure that sleep study was done in lab and bring those results, because Prime is going to try to force a sleep study on you, and they're going to try to force a CPAP machine on you. Otherwise, I would suggest maybe losing a little weight, getting your body mass index down, so that you don't have to worry about them flagging you in their system to need a CPAP machine. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to use it. I have no way to skirt the system on this. I'm going to use it. I'm going to be compliant with it. I'll probably use it 4 or 5 hours a night, and that'll be it. And I'll take it off, and then I'll sleep, comfortably how I want to sleep. But to force someone to do this every single night, when people are voicing that these things are uncomfortable and that they're not giving me better sleep. This CPAP machine is not giving me better sleep. The CPAP machine is hindering my ability to get good sleep. Period. Now, for those who this CPAP machine works, by all means, keep using them. People like me, it doesn't work. I didn't get sleep when I had it on for 4.5 hours. I maybe got about 30 minutes, maybe an hour of sleep. So if you would have told me I had to wear this thing for 8 hours, and for 4 hours of that time I only got an hour of sleep, then that tells me that if I was mandated to wear this thing for 8 hours, that I would only get about 2 hours of good sleep. How does that benefit me? How does that help me out? Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Comment on this video if you work for Prime and you had to use a CPAP machine. What did you do? Did you stay at Prime? Did you get another sleep study? Were you able to get the sleep apnea results changed? If you were, how did you do it? Please let me know, because I'm looking at it now, how I can get this thing corrected so that this doesn't follow me for my trucking career. Again, please share this video if you liked it. Please comment it. Please like it. Please subscribe. This will go a long way in making sure that I can continue to make videos. It'll also help boost me in the algorithm of YouTube, and it'll help get my videos on the front of your page so that when I post them, you'll know that I post them, and you don't have to worry about coming and searching for my videos. If you have any videos that you would like to see from me about trucking, about Prime, please leave a comment below. I'll try to get those questions answered. Me and my trainer are leaving Springfield here in the next 30 minutes. He should be here any time now, and we're headed over to Atlanta. And hopefully from Atlanta, maybe we'll even drive up the East Coast, and I can stop and see Anita for maybe 30 minutes, for an hour or so, and have some dinner with her or something. It would be nice, because I miss my girl, I miss my lady, miss my baby. Yeah. So yeah, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Be safe out there on the road. Take care of yourself. Till next time. Peace.